Here at BSM, we aim to develop students as positive global citizens who are equipped with skills, understanding, and values to be able and willing to contribute to our world. We are delighted to share with you today the experiences of Dani Africa, a Year 13 student who, through her self-initiated social enterprise, Botched, is attempting to ignite curiosity and passion amongst youth in Manila to pursue STEM learning pathways, or what we here call at BSM SIDE. She has conducted workshops in schools and organizations around the city, hoping to inspire youth to exercise their entrepreneurial spirit, embrace failure, broaden their horizons, and become the young innovators of Philippines' future.
Okay, welcome, Denny. So we're essentially here to celebrate the success of your social enterprise, Botched. Tell us a little bit more about it. So, what is it? What's the ultimate goal behind it? Who are you targeting?
So basically, Botched is a social enterprise that I started in the pandemic. And it basically what it aims to do is promote STEM learning in the Philippines because I think that the country as a whole, and in terms of like the STEM opportunities, and especially if you look at the public system, the STEM education that we have is very straightforward. You know, it's very like here's a textbook and then you learn the science concepts. Um, so basically, the goal is to people immerse the youth in the Philippines who may come from more marginalized areas.
Okay.
About that STEM can be an option for them.
So it's more experiential learning.
Yes.
Okay. And what's your ultimate goal with it?
My ultimate goal is to have some sort of application of STEM because if we look at Philippine learning, it's very much core curriculum in terms of like you learn biology. You know, there's chemistry and physics, but really the core of it is just biology. And I think that like robotics and coding and engineering, I think one of the biggest ones is design thinking. It's not in any part of Philippine public education. So I think like my biggest hope is that like in my own little way, we're able to promote that side of STEM learning inside our education system.
And is there a particular age group that you're targeting, or is it broadly scoped?
I think that well, like in the past with our workshop, we've dealt with kids. The youngest we've had is 8, I believe, and the oldest is 16. But in terms of like learning a lot of these abstract concepts, I think they're a lot easier to learn when you're young because everything is just creativity and playing and you're building and stuff like that. So I'm hoping to focus on even a younger age range moving forward.
I mean, you've worked with some outreach programs. To give us some examples of how you've brought Botched to certain communities.
So the biggest group of students we've had was we worked with YMCA of Manila.
Okay.
And what we did is we got 2 students from, I think it was 16 different public high schools in Manila. So we had like, Manila Science High School, things like that. And they came together to do these like 10-week workshops that ended in like a graduation ceremony. Probably the most heartwarming, we've also worked with kids in Payatas through the Puso ng Ama Foundation. So Payatas is a trash dump basically in the Philippines. So they're very like, it's a very marginalized group of youth, but it was really interesting to see kind of their approach to a lot of things that they have never been immersed in before. Because I think STEM learning, not everyone gets the opportunity to experience that kind of thing.
And what did you witness when these students started to interact with your Botch kids?
I think it's really cool because like it starts with like guided building where we teach them what to do. But I think it's really interesting because like they had ideas that like I didn't have. They built things I didn't have. I think especially with the kids in PNA, like I had parents come up to me and say like before this they used to just play basketball. Right. And now they get to like they would just play basketball on the street. But now they have like another opportunity, another way to kind of learn, but like in a fun educational way.
Fantastic. Okay, so my next question is this. Why do you think it's so important for young learners or students of different age levels to have experiences with STEM learning, or what we refer to here at BSM as SIDE? So S stands for STEAM, we've got I, innovation, D stands for design, and then E for entrepreneurship.
Well, I think if we look at like the broader scheme of things, if you look at the STEM industry, like in the in like the outside world, outside of school, it's a very small portion that focuses on non-applied STEM. So I mean, like like if you learn like how a tree grows, or in like chemistry, I don't know how elements work together. It's a very small portion. It's probably like research. And then the rest of the industry is all about application, and that's like I think coding is a big application of STEM.
Yeah.
Robotics obviously is an application of STEM, and I think that it's one thing to know the biology and the chemistry and the physics behind it.
So the theoretical aspects.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's another thing to know how to actually use it.
Mm.
And I think that that's really, really important. Like design thinking, I think that's one of the side, is a really big thing we focus on in Botch, because I think it's creativity, it's innovation, but also, you know, you have to apply the physics concepts you learn to know how to build something.
Right.
So I think like these opportunities are really important, because if you look at core curriculum really across the world, it's very theoretical, and you have to kind of know how to apply that, or else you're not going to be able to apply those theory that you learn into the real world when you know, work and stuff. So that's why I think like the applications of science is almost more important than science.
So with your Botch kids, then you're from the younger ages, it makes it more accessible in the sense that they get to play and experiment, and there's the practical elements, and then you almost flip it, and later the theoretical elements come in to nurture the understanding. I mean, what sort of message would you impart on the student community here at BSM in terms of nurturing those transferable skills? What are employers looking for, and what sort of character traits do they need to get to where you are? You know, you had this vision, you brought it to fruition, you're now celebrating it, and you're also enabling others in the community at the same time to sort of walk alongside you.
I think it's really cliche, but like, you know, like how they say, like, when you love what you're doing, you don't really work. So I feel like, honestly, if you have an idea that you're really passionate about, things kind of just work out for you because you force them to work out for you.
Okay.
So I think like that's a big one, is just being really passionate about something, finding something that you're really interested in, and it kind of all works out in the end.
And sometimes it's accidental that you find your passion, right? You don't just wake up one morning and think, well, that's my passion. So being able to experiment with that as well, and broadening your horizons, and willing to push yourself out of your comfort zone too. Okay, that was Daphne Africa, everyone. Well done. Thank you so much for joining us.